Hello, Janet. Hello, Bill. Yes, let's get this party going. Good to see you two on, and I'm sure we're going to get joined. Six people's on, three thumbs up. Yes, let's get this party going, Janet. You hit it perfect. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's do the music, and then let's get this party going. Some good things out there, some things I want to talk about. I'm excited. I think I just received something with Patriot Diane with two N's. And I mean N's like the letter N, not two N's, the one she sits on. She only has one of those. I know because I've met her. Good evening, Papa G, and good evening, Ian Bell. It's good to see everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart.
There's a couple
and it's time we
teachers
stand
at
and
school.
say,
But their husband works and some churches come back.
I'm proud to
They've
be
been
an
praying.
American.
And they said, I've been praying a couple times for them to pray about it. And she said, and that's what I'm saying. Because you're cocky and you won't back down, and I'm afraid you're going to get your ass kicked. And I said, well, so you're saying that I should be a citizenship? And I certainly have the right on freedom of speech. But I should go back to being the dad I was when your mother treated me like I was a piece of crap. And I'm sitting there saying, I'm hurting. And she says, well, I said, no, that's exactly what you're telling me. I said, I'd rather be dead than get up and think. I don't go on the shows 3 nights a week to people can tell me I can't put a shirt on or I haven't. And I had a conversation with you here. Do you pray to him? Do you pray to him? No. I pray to God and Jesus Christ and Lord and Savior. I never could have declared myself as a Jehovah's Witness like you did. Huh? Proud to be an American. God bless the USA, and I'll never get tired. I'll never get tired of saying that, of doing that. Joe Phillips and Kevin and Jeffrey. Good to see everyone. Nita W. Good to see you guys. We got a show tonight, and I'm going to go into the show and I'm going to make the statement. What I say here tonight is my beliefs. This is something that I believe in. And I don't care if someone comes on the show and tells me that Bruce is a piece of crap. I don't care. I don't care if people come on and say he's never had nothing right. I don't care. I'm going to tell people who don't like what I say, and I'm being very nice here. I am not going to go out of my way to hurt anybody. But if you don't like what I'm saying, See if you can find anybody else that tells the truth. We are put in a position to just give you facts and keep your vibrations up. Now, I'm going to say some things tonight. But I have to start something out. I just have to do this. Before I talk to the kids, there's something that happened today. Give me a second to find it. There's something that happened today that I have to share. As we all know, if you're a member of Patriots Fight Forever on Telegram, and if you're not, why? Nita, Janet. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be, but there's so much great information. And truthfully, the person who provides the most great information is Ronnie. Not my brother Ron, not Patriot 6, Ronnie. And Ronnie come up with a great one today, because Ronnie come up with a statement today, a saying today, that really and truthfully made us laugh. It not only made us laugh, it made us feel like, wow, no matter how bad things are getting, we can always have time to smile and laugh. And I'm going to read something to you here. And this come from Ronnie, but it was actually forwarded from Music Blue 813. But I'm going to say it come from Ronnie because I'm giving him all the credit. Because I love this man. He says, I have 4 gallons of unleaded gas, looking to swap for a 4-bedroom house with a pool. Now you got to admit, the comedy in that is off the charts. But what would have been even funnier if they'd have went a little further and said, willing to swap for a 4-bedroom house and a pool, and don't worry about the people who have the house and the pool to cover the difference. Before we go into the kids, I want to elaborate on that a little more because, see, Janet and Ian and Kevin, Joe Phillips, Jeffrey,
eventually the
Nita.
gas will come down.
Have you ever been recently to the store? You know something, when Sleepy was in charge, remember them things that come out of a chicken's butthole? Them things called eggs? We was always waiting for the golden egg to drop so we could get our money. But the price of eggs when Sleepy was in charge was too high. It was more than gold. I actually got a dozen eggs yesterday for 79 cents. And they weren't even old ones that, maybe when you open them up, instead of getting the egg, you got the chicken too. They were good eggs. I know me and Ron had an egg sandwich. But what I'm saying, the price of eggs are so up, now it's down. But gas was kind of like this, and now it's like, woo, woo, woo. But I have good news. I have good news about gas. Gas is going to start coming down. But when they do, I've been told from my number one source, I can't give out names, don't give sources away, but I've been told by my number one source that when gas comes down, it's going to come down like a rock. Like a rock coming down. And my number one source just told me that he's not even under an NDA. So you can maybe figure out who my number one source is. Guys, I want to have fun tonight. But I also want to read some things. And I want to read something. I want you guys to tell me if you know anything about this, and then I'm going to talk to the kids. But since I'm on this page, I don't want to lose this article. This is an article from Ronnie, forwarded from AXIOS/4B. 3 bullets, 1 pattern. Butler, Pennsylvania, July 13, 2024. A bullet grazed his ear. He stood up, fist in the air. Fight! West Palm Beach, September 15, 2024. A rifle in the bushes. Secret Service spotted it first. He never flinched. Washington, D.C., April 26, 2026. A man with a shotgun, a pistol, knives, and extra ammunition rushed the White House. Correspondence dinner. He shot at a Secret Service officer. He was aiming for our president. 3 attempts, 3 failures, 1 question. Why now? The DHS intelligence report leaked today says the shooter was motivated by the Iran war. That's the cover story. Here's the pattern. They don't want you to see attempt 1, July 4, 2024, 4 months before the election that would have given the hat the mandate. Attempt 2, September 24th, September 2024, 6 weeks before he won the presidency back. Attempt 3, April 2026, 8 days before the Iran deal framework was delivered to the White House. Every single attempt happens right before a milestone that brings the hat closer to dismantling the old system. Cole Allen wasn't a random tutor from California. He was flagged by the DHS 6 weeks before the dinner. That's in the court filing. They knew, and they let him keep to the perimeter with a gun that shots. The answer, wait a minute. Ask yourself, how does a man with a shoulder holster, visible knives, and a gun run through security at the most protected media event in America? The answer is someone wanted him to get through. They are not trying to stop a president. They are trying to stop a signature. The Iran deal isn't about missiles. The China summit isn't about trade. The QFS activation isn't about technology. It's about who controls the money. And 3 times now, they've sent a bullet to stop it. 3 times they failed. May 15th, the signature. They can't stop. 3 attempts, 3 milestones, 1 signature. If anybody has any way, Betty and Papa G and Jeffrey and Larry Smith, Janet, Bill Woods, if anybody has any inclination of what I just said, please share it over here. I'll try to watch. But I'm going to talk about to the kids now. I want to talk about the kids because the kids to me now, when I started this journey and I opened up my show to the kids, I did it because I thought we had the greatest kids in the world, and I still believe that. I still believe we have the greatest kids in the world right now. Kids that want to learn, kids that want to be what they need to be, kids that want to take over and eventually rule what we're saving for them. I truthfully believe that. And I truthfully believe Super Jimmy could be a great leader. Yes, Super Jimmy is homeschooled. Yes, Super Jimmy has lost someone special to him. But see, Super Jimmy is also going to get on these special beds. And then all of a sudden, he's going to be a brand new, very intelligent, which he already is, but very flamboyant speaker. Look at what this young man does now. Look at the stories that he gets now. The stories that I use. Because he's willing to take the extra step. Patriot 11. What an amazing young boy. And I can't wait to get this ranch and have him come and teach all of us how to ride. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp. Boy, I've talked to these 2 boys a couple of times, and I'm telling you, the excitement in their voice, they just can't hold it in. They're so excitable because they have great parents who care, and parents who look after them. And let's go to Jana. Let's go to Jana and her grandkids, Patriot Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter. There's not a grandmother out there that loves their grandkids, that's there for their grandkids any more than Jana. But then we can turn the page, and that was a theme that they used when they thought they were going to defeat the Hat Kids. Turn the page. That was used by idiots, but I'm using it in a right way because then we can turn the page and go to John. And John, there's not a grandpa that loves their kids, and I know how much I love my grandkids. As Ron said, Mr. Stickman. And yeah, I like that. I like that because John, he does that Stickman thing, and that's cool. And we'll just keep going. Myrna, good to see you here. But John loves Boogs and Boogaloo and Boogaroo and Boogie. You know, he says he has 7, but he's never told us the other ones. They must be Ray, Tom, and Floyd or something. And he just doesn't want to get them mixed up with the bees. And then I'm going to move on to Mike and Patriot little Leona. And to the grandmother and the mother of Patriot little Elan, who named their children after 2 of the most important women ever in my life. And that's my mom and my aunt. And how they love these 2 little girls, and how these 2 little girls will never know anything but love in their life. I'm going to move on now to our new 2 kids, Patriot Cutie Pie and Patriot 17, our 2 kids in the Ukraine, who is so happy. When Julia writes me, she tells me how amazing the kids are right now because they can go outside and play. Does that sound to you like a country that is still in the middle of a huge, huge war? No, it sounds to me like there's a country and another country that has come to terms, but the Hat's not ready to release it yet. The same reason he's not ready to release everything else yet. But these 2 kids, just to be able to go out in the yard and play with their kids. And I got a letter from Julia, and she says, you know, they was out playing yesterday. And Patriot 17 looked at his one friend and says, is this the most amazing feeling in the world? Can you imagine Bill Woods and Jeffrey and David and Papa G, Myrna? Can you imagine just to be able to go outside and play? I seen a commercial the other day. And the commercial said, a little girl going outside, and she says, this is me going outside when I was a young kid. The only thing we had to do is say, Mom, what time is lunch? Mom, I'll be home in time for dinner. And then when she went back out again, she said, Mom, I'll be home and in the yard when the street lights come on. Mom didn't care because she knew she was safe. But now we live in a world that we don't know when kids are anything. My daughter just went out for Patriot Super Gymnast and Patriot 7. She just went out and bought these walkie-talkies. She bought these walkie-talkies. So when Liam, Patriot 7, wants to go to the pond and fishing, or when Ella wants to go down to a friend's house who lives 2-3 blocks away and she wants them home, she gets on the walkie-talkie. These walkie-talkies, they've already used them, and they have where you can hear perfect from over 10 miles away. They paid a lot of money, but they had a house phone. But they had one house phone. Liam can't take it fishing, and Patriots Super Gymnast can't take it to the friend's house. Plus, when they did it, all they wanted to do, instead of going fishing, he would sit down there and he would get on the phone, and he wasn't even worried about fishing. And when she would try to call, hey, Liam, what's going on? He wouldn't answer because he was too busy playing games. So she took the house phone away, and now she's got him on walkie-talkies, which is great. As a matter of fact, she told me, Dad, you and Uncle Ron need to get a set of these so we can just keep in touch with you like that. And we don't have to worry about people coming on and scamming our conversations or doing something.
Because of the blackout.
And as Ron's saying, guys, these walkie-talkies might be something for everyone to look into because of the 10 days of darkness. I'm seriously, when I get paid next week, if we're not in the 10 days of darkness, I'm serious about looking at Ron saying, hey, let me talk to Amber. Let her get us 2 of these so me and him can have them so we can communicate here. And so also I can communicate with my grandkids and my daughter because they have 3. So when they're at home, Patriot little gymnast, she can talk to me. Yesterday was her birthday. And I sang happy birthday to her Monday. And I made her a video with pictures of just me and her in the video singing happy birthday. She looked at me yesterday and says, Grandpa, that's the greatest video I've ever seen in my life. Great kids. And I'm not saying it because they're my grandkids. But then we got Patriot, small Hank, and I'm thinking, wow, what if I can talk my son into getting a couple of these too? Even though we live together, there's going to be times when we can just communicate. Instead of small Hank having a phone where he can text me and do things like that, we can actually talk and he's not on this thing. But only use it when it's needed. Hey, Karen. Hey, Lynn. David, Papa G. It's good to see everyone here, Nita. 71 people here. I want to thank everybody for coming out. But I just went through the kids, and I love talking about the kids. But kids, remember, this video is not meant for you. This video is not meant for you. You can watch it under the discretion of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. The music that we played is not meant for us. We have no legal rights to it. We play it because we love the song. And I'll play it. I'd love to play it at the first and at the end. And I want to apologize. The other night, I left a little abruptly because sometimes you just have to move on so you don't say something you shouldn't say. And I wanted to keep everything under track. Good to see you, Sarita. I want to keep everything good, and I want to apologize because I didn't say the prayer. And as soon as I got done, Ron looked at me and said, you didn't say the prayer. And I said, that's okay, Ron. It's okay. I'll say 2 of them next time, or I'll just say an extra one or something. But before I get into more of the show, and I've ended the part with the kids now, but as I just read this, as I just read what I just read for you, there's something here from Carpathia on the same thing that I just read about the 3 attempts. Mark's Morning Live, 5/6/2026. There's a special place in hell for anyone that has held back healing technologies. Bonds. I did have the bond person check in and say, I just need to get through this week. But if you need any dollars, let us know for first of next week. So I think money is flowing. What is getting very encouraging, Iraq. Iraq is offering massive discounts on purchase of oil. If you come get it, FOB. Iraq was forced to get off stuck. The Iranian conflict has forced Iraq out of stock, forced them to make decades worth of progress. In the month and a half, they haven't had a choice.
She fall down.
She's laying there. Guys, hold on a second.
She's up.
Excuse me, my little dog had fallen down, and I wanted to make sure she was okay, David and Jeffrey and Ian. But there's one more thing I want to go through here real quick. And then I have a story. Patriot Diane with 2 N's sent me this just before the show tonight. It's from Bear Paw, Patriot, May 6, 2026, 6:36 p.m., 5/6/2026. TNT says we are getting paid no later than Saturday. Everything is set to go. We should get notified by Saturday, if not sooner. He said this should be the last call before the call. Banks were very excited about the VES. They can see it and know what's happening. It's already trading with the countries on the Forex. Chase is a foundation bank in Iraq. Wells Fargo is a foundation bank here in the USA. ZIMs are 11 to 33 million is standard per Tony. Cabinet named by Friday, but we should know the rate before Friday evening or Saturday morning. We should be notified. However, he said some preferred customers may get called by banks beforehand. Notes by Bear Paw Patriot. Today, Ron looked at me and said, we need to start working on the show. We need to start getting some stuff for the show. I went outside and I got an older car sitting in Ron's lane, and I'm probably going to get rid of it pretty soon because it's either get rid of it or the town's going to start fining Ron. And, if he's got to pay the fine. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm probably going to get rid of it eventually. It needs a new transmission. And, when a car is not even in the 2000s and it's got 200,000 miles, you really don't want to put a transmission in it. But I opened the back door and I found this page. During our appointment to the Redemption Centers, questions that we can ask live at your appointment. How do I access my account? Via phone app, website, debit card. Number 2, can I request a second debit card for the account? Number 3, if I open a savings and checking account with you, do I receive interest? If so, how much interest? Number 4, may I set up multiple accounts / and sub-accounts today as well? Have passwords ready. Number 5, what is the highest interest rate you can offer? Are there any perks? Number 6, are you providing the best currency rate available for the exchange? Well, number 1, that question there I wanted to discuss. Are you providing the best currency rates available for this exchange? You have to remember, if you want the best, you have to go to the Redemption Center. You have to go to the Redemption Center to get your quantum financial account set up. So why do you want to go to a bank? You can always get your account set up. You can always, at the Redemption Center, open up bank accounts. 1, 2, 3, or 4, like Bruce says. Now, that's the one thing Bruce has not lied about. You can always do that. But when you're done and you have these accounts opened up in this count and this count and this count and this count, you can go to your regular bank and say, I want to move $20 million over to this account. I want to open up a new account and open. You can have as many debit cards in your bank accounts as you want, but do you need to? If you have a wife, then they'll give you 2, I would imagine. Cash is going to be
have one count together.
Cash is going to be very rare. As Ron says, me and him's going to have one account. I think we'll have more than one account. When Julia, when Masha, when her mom gets here, they're going to have their own account. They're going to have their own account and their own money. Talking about trust funds the other day. The kids, the 2 that's going to come, they will be taken care of with a trust fund. My 5 grandkids, my brother's 5 kids, my daughters, my sister's 4 kids, they will all have trust funds. But my brother Russ, my sister Rhoda, and Ron, we will all have our own accounts. Now, mine and Ron's will be much more bigger and many, many more than theirs, but we'll set up accounts for all of these. But I also want for my grandkids, for the 2 kids that's coming over, I want to be able to also not set them up an account that when they're 21, 22, or 23, whichever number Ron and me decide, that they'll get their money when they know they're old enough to not blow through it. I also want to have something set up that every month they're sent a check for maybe $1,000 so they can have a little money. If they start getting stupid, they get it taken away. It's kind of like, John and Jeffrey and Gary. Hey, Gary, how are you? Gary, I agree with you. Gary, guys, before I go any further, Gary is saying, I look for a big distraction to happen to cover up before the RV. What that is, I believe will be quite big in my opinion. I do too. And I think what it's going to be. Huh? I think there's going to be a couple. I think they're going to be the first arrest and several arrests after that. That's going to really get people looking in another direction. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I think another distraction is going to be is Junior coming back, as Ron says, Senior coming back, and that's going to be the big one, guys. You can talk all you want about Junior, but when Senior comes back, that's going to be the big one. That's going to be the kahuna. But what I also think they're going to give everybody some money. And they're going to take away the distractions. I'm going to talk about a cousin of mine in a few minutes about getting some money because everything is money to these people that don't believe. It's money. And if you put some money in his hand, all of a sudden he's going to go from, whoa. He's going to be a daydream believer, just like the monkey said. So I do believe you there that everything well, I'm not going to go that long, Myrna. I'm not going to make the kids go to 45. I'm thinking at the latest 25. But I'm also going to have them set up where they're going to be able to have some money to spend. I don't want my grandkids. I don't want my nieces and nephews. I want them working with us. Patriot 7 cannot wait. He cannot wait to start working on a project. Every time I see this boy, even when he's in the middle of a ball game, he'll come up and says, Papa, what's going on? When are we going to start working? When are we going to start doing things? He also has allergies real bad. He's allergic to cats. I have 6 cats. Ron has 1. My grandson and my 2 granddaughters from my daughter has never spent a night at my house. That's what he's looking the most forward to, is to spend a night at the house with us, to be able to come over and spend a week. Give their mom and dad, go wherever you want on vacation. Now let's continue the list. How much of my funds are accessible today? If not, when will the rest be accessible? What is the most physical cash I can withdraw today or tomorrow? Do you recommend I have a trust? If so, do you recommend setting one up today? As I said about the trust, I think they will show you how. They will put you in the right direction if and when you're ready for a trust. May I have proof of funds for letter? Meaning, if you have an account, will they give you a letter or several letters? You can have them copied. But Myrna and Janet and John and Diane, VA, here's the deal. You walk in and Diane, VA, you want to buy your husband a brand new truck, might cost $70,000, $80,000. And you walk in and you say, I want this truck right here, right now. You just write out a check and they look and say, oh, we got to get this approved. You hand them a letter and you say, any account on this, anything bought on this account is covered. And they're going to give you that. They're going to give you the keys to the truck. It's going to take you 2 minutes to fill out the paperwork and you're driving with your new truck. Yes, I believe that's a great one. Do you have temporary checks until the real ones come in? May I please have the names and titles of everyone helping me today? How long is the NDA for? What specifically can't I discuss that will compromise my NDA? And I think right there, that is the most important one, because if you get put under an NDA, and remember, you only get put under an NDA if you have Zim. But see, I think that maybe you might find some different things, because there have been a lot of people recently talking to me about Yellow Dragon bonds. And Yellow Dragon bonds, I believe, is going to be worth more than Zim bonds. And I believe if you have Yellow Dragon bonds, you're going to probably go under one. This is my opinion. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you as a patriot, my opinion. Who is the best point of contact I can call with any questions? Have you heard anything about a Q phone or laptop? This is something that Bruce discusses in almost every show. He tells you if you have Zim, you should get your Q phone at the Redemption Center. When will the other people get theirs? I would think when you go to open up your Quantum Financial account. Now, will people such as maybe Soretta and John, and I know John has some Zim, but people who don't have Zim but go to the Redemption Center, you get your Quantum account set up then too. You may get your phone then. I see no reason why not. But remember, guys, this is going to be worldwide. Everybody in the world is going to go worldwide. When we come back from the 10 days of darkness, everybody in the world is going to have quantum internet. They're all going to have internet everywhere in the world. You're going to be able to talk to anybody, any place in the world. It's going to be glorious. Now, questions below are if you are not able to ask on the phone live. Is there a limit to the amount of currency I can exchange/redeem? No. If so, What is the limit I can exchange/redeem? There is no limit. Do you mind me asking what currencies are you exchanging/revaluing at your location? If you go to a redemption center, anything that's on the board, they will be exchanging. Are you exchanging Zimbabwe Zim, Hungary Pengo, Venezuela Boulevard, etc.? Once again, if you go to a redemption center, you will get the best possible rates. And if it's on the board, if it's in the basket, not on the board, if it's in the basket, and from what I'm understanding, there's only going to be one time, no double dipping. So if you have the currency, they will exchange it, as from what I'm understanding. Are the currency rates negotiable, or are they set? From what I'm understanding, they are set, but I've heard on the Zim, depending on the amount you have, when someone says, if you have Zim, I've heard you're going to get 1-to-1 for the first two $100 trillion notes, or two values equaling 100 trillion. And then after that, you're going to get between 11 and 33 million for each one. Someone said, oh my God, that's not worth it. Come on. If you bought a $100 trillion Zim bond, if you spent more than $50 for it, you overpaid for just one. Now, I know they're more expensive now, but I came out with the Zim bond. That's the first currency I bought to be part of Patriot Ron and Patriot, my brother Russ. That's the first currency. They was buying everything, and I bought it. I got 3 $100 trillion or 6 $50 trillion Zim bonds that night, 100 trillion a piece. I got for less than $100 because you can negotiate with the people. Oh my God, Maria Camacho. I went to Pubic store for fresh cod, $25.99 a pound. It's ridiculous. Thank goodness I'm not that big of a cod eater. I'd rather give me carp. I can catch them in the creek myself. Are currency rates? No, I've already read that. Are there contract rates available for dinar, dong, and Zimbabwe? Yes, there are. Will I be presenting my humanitarian? What?
Contract rate just for dinar.
There's no
there's no contract rate.
Oh, Ron says that there's no contract rate on the other two. Okay. Will I be presenting my humanitarian project? Yes. If so, how long will I have to present my project? According to Bruce, and this is who I'm going to say, and this is the one thing I believe in, Bruce. So the guys on that really cut Bruce down here tonight, this is what I'm hearing. But I've also heard it from Mark Z. I've heard it from Charlie Ward, and I've heard it from a few others. But Bruce is consistent about you're going to have about 40, at the most 45 minutes. But guys, my humanitarian projects, I want to help rebuild my town. What's that consist of? And I'm going to tell them. How many jobs is that going to create? Well, we're going to put in a whole new police system. We're going to put in a whole new system for fire department. We're going to put in, people are going to go around and cut other people's grass. So we're going to have people do that. We're going to have a crew on standby all winter long to take care of snow. The Sportsman's Club, when we reopen it, we're going to need workers down there, not only to mow the grass, but to be there to protect the people. We're going to need lifeguards. And I don't want just, this lifeguard works 8 hours this day, and this one works 8 hours, and this one works 8 hours, and they're wearing herself out. I want at least 20 to 30 lifeguards where they're going to get paid very much money. We're going to have restaurants. We're going to have other things. In other words, opening stores, gas stations. I'd like to build maybe some kind of a little factory. I don't know what yet, but there's going to be many jobs. So you're going to have similar information for that. My other project, my number one project, is the kids and the animals. If we build it, they will come. As Julia said, in her country, all of the chairs that are empty at the kitchen table at night for supper because a son or a daughter lost their lives in the war. We can build this for the kids. We can show these people how to adopt these children. They will not ever be their blood children, but they will replace them empty chairs and them empty beds at night. And 20 years from now, when they're old enough to have children of their own, they will make this man and woman grandparents. And it will be like, hey, God took away my child, but he gave me the opportunity to have more children. So that's it. It will take no time at all. You do not have to give every detail. Now, how many jobs is the children going to create? We don't know. But the money that is going to be spent on this is going to be outrageous. The people that we're going to help, our slogan is from Field of Dreams. If we build it, they will come, and we will ease the pain of these people. We will ease the pain of the children when they wake up on their birthday and someone's singing happy birthday to them, and someone is giving them presents, and they feel like they're the luckiest kids in the world instead of in an orphanage where they might not even know it's their birthday. Mike Davis, Nita, Janet, Tony. Am I allowed to accompany a spouse / friend relative to their appointment as well? I know spouses can go. If you're partners with and a relative with someone, yes, you can go. Remember, it's up to you. But here is the thing. At the Redemption Center, when you go under an NDA, you're going to be able to find out exactly what you can say and what you can't. Why do you want to say anything? Ron is not going with me. He was going to, but we decided not. I'm going alone, but I'm going to put on the list that Ron and me can talk. Now, when we talk about it, the TV will be off. Maybe we'll go outside and sit in the yard. No radios, no cell phones, no nothing. And we'll talk. It'll be between me and him. And as I've explained to Julia, when you come here, there's going to be times that I can't talk to you about things. Me and her have a code word. When I get the 800 number, when I write her, I have a phrase that I'm going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her I'm going to the Redemption Center. When I say this phrase, she's going to know I go. So we just have to, guys, it's not going to be a lifelong thing. We're not going to be under an NDA for a lifetime. It's going to be a few short months. You can be quiet for a few short months. If you can't, go on vacation. Take your money and just go to some beach. Sit out and drink Mai Tais. Sit out and enjoy the warm weather. Get a tan. Or you can just learn if someone's, I've already practiced it. My brother Russ looks at me and says, so how much money did we get? Don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You was there. Don't know. What do you mean? I mean, I can understand my daughter looking at me or my son looking at me and say, Dad, how much money did you really get? We didn't really believe in you, Dad, but how much? Don't know. And truthfully, you really won't know the total amount because it's going to be so staggering. But then again, the NDA could be easy, Janet and Tony and Gary. Hey, Gary. That's right. Gary says it perfect. Find a quiet place for a couple of weeks and have that in your plan. True. Or just don't say nothing. Hey, these are people that haven't wanted to talk to us for a long, long time. Now, all of a sudden, we're supposed to open up to them and tell them everything? I don't think so. Do you know anything about setting a special bed appointment? Everything you're going to need to know, especially if you have Zim, you're going to find out. The one thing I will say about appointments, anybody who wants to work with Patriot 5, Patriot 6 humanitarian projects, if you don't have any projects of your own, all you need to do is, guys, give them my information. You know, when the time comes, I'll provide my email address, my phone number, and all they have to do is call me, say, hey, this is so-and-so from such and such. This person says they're going to work with your project. Is that true? Yes. I don't want your money. It'll just be part of a project. If you have a project that you want to work, we will work with you. See, guys, when I say work, W-R-O-R-K, I say it very gently because Joe Phillips, I don't believe any of us is really going to ever work another day in our life, but we're going to show people how to work, how to have a great life and move forward. So you will find out at the Redemption Center about the special beds. Is there anything else I should know that we have not discussed? There's never anything, there's never a question, and this is something that my mom and dad taught me as a young kid. There's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the question that you refuse to ask anybody. Yes, you can take that, Joe. You can take that folder that I provided. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to update it. I'm going to try to update it and get my daughter to run copies. And I don't know if I'll get it done right away because she is really busy. But if I can update it a little bit, I will. And maybe I can send the copies and you can get them run and just put them in your folder. But when it comes to currency, Joe, if you don't have everything down and have multiple copies, so when you go in, you can hand a couple of people a copy of the currencies you have before you give your currency over. And then when they take your currency to count it, tell them to sign your paper that you have stating what you have. Now, you may be off a little bit. You may be off a little bit low. You may be off a little bit high. But the main thing is you don't want to go in with $150 $1 million Boulevard notes and they come back and say you only had 75. And I don't think that's going to happen because it's going to be so greatly taken care of. Wow.
Wow, people are really participating in the show tonight.
Yes. Ron says, thank you. People are really participating in the show tonight. No, Kevin, I don't believe the NDA can be for years. I don't see an NDA going over 3 months. And who knows, maybe we'll, I shouldn't say this, but I want to have a little fun. Maybe we'll all get lucky and get NDAs like Wolverine and the girl who's involved in the beds get, because they're on like their 30th or 40th NDA.
And they keep talking.
But it's all Zim we get to you, right? Correct? Joe, are you saying for the humanitarian? Joe, you'll be under control. If you want to pass your Zim that you get for the humanitarian projects onto our group, you can. If you want to hold on to it.
If you want to pass it on to the people on their projects that they got.
Right. Or if you want to pass it on to people who's got projects, that's the thing. Who owns the Sportsman's Club? The town of Buckingham. The town of Buckingham, who has a group of board members that are the greediest SOBs in the world. So whether or not I buy it, me and Ron, and we turn it into what we want to turn it into, because along with the Sportsman's Club, there's about 20 acres of land that goes one way and about 10 acres of land that goes the other. So I'm kind of hoping to buy. I've already talked to the guy that owns the land that goes the other way. And I mean, heck, I told him I'll give you $1 million. And he said, are you kidding me? And I said, no, it's just money. See, this is what we need. Our lives are going to be together. Serve Jesus. Yes. Guys, I have a lot of information, but this is such a great show tonight. I don't know if I'm going to get to a lot of it. But I have to tell you a story about a cousin of mine today. I went into the post office to get Ron's mail, and I'm coming out, and my cousin looks at me and says, how you doing, Les? That was my nickname, Les. Not because I was less than anybody else, but because when I was in school, there was a guy a year ahead of me. His name was Les Anderson. So when I found out my name was Anderson, everybody thought I was him. When my brother Russ found out about it, he nicknamed me Les. I think it was because he knew I was better than him and he wanted to have the security. Just joking. I'm not better than anybody. But in essence, this guy that I talked to, this cousin of mine, He'll be 69 years old next January. He's still working. He's still working because he is not going to leave any of his retirement money on the table. He's getting every penny. So he's going to work till he's 70 years old. 2 years, not this next January, but a year after that. He's going to work till he's 70. I said, wow, I took my Social Security at 62. He said, well, you're crazy. You're not getting this and you're not getting this. And I said, well, you know what? I first started off getting $1,500 a month. That's $18,000 a year. Just at $18,000 a year, I will have drawn 8 years more by the time I'm 70 than you will draw. 18,000 times 8, 144,000. I said, so that means you have to make that 144,000 up. It's going to take you at least 8 or 9 years. The extra you're going to get to make it up, it's going to put you at almost 80. Now, if you don't have the special beds, and he has no clue what I'm talking about, if we don't have them, how long are you going to live? Because you're going to live to be, in order to actually make it beneficial for you, you got to live to be about 110 to 115 years old. He looked at me and he goes, that's not true. But then he started running numbers in his head and he goes, damn. Yes, that's my email. Thank you, Janet. Everybody write that down. If you have any problems, get in touch with me. Karen, good to see you. So I'm going to go back now and read a couple of things. And on the wrong page. Here, I'm trying to figure out why I can't find this stuff on Ron. Here's in our Chronicles. According to the report compiled by Judy Bidington, journalist Judy Bidington, profound shift of the world's financial architecture is reportedly underway. These updates suggest transitions from traditional fiat-based systems to the more transparent asset-backed framework. This post explores the core components of these reports, detailing the transition of the quantum financial system, QFS, the implementation of Big N, Big G laws, and the timeline for the global adjustments. A central theme in recent updates is reported movement towards a global gold standard. Proponents of this transition state, as of early May 2026, military overseen administrative forces, often referred as white hats, have taken operational command of the global financial system. The goal of this movement is to distribute trillions in asset-backed funds across 209 sovereign nations. Trillions of money is going to be going out. When I was talking to my cousin today, he actually looked at me, guys, and I wear this hat, and I wear it proud, and you can see who signed it. You can see the back of it. And he had the nerve, the audacity to look at me and say, do you pray to him? I said, excuse me? And he said, do you pray to him? And I said, why? Why would I pray to him? I pray to God and Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And he looked at me and says, because you act to me like you think he's God. And I said, and you act to me like you think he's the devil. But tell me one president that has lost billions of dollars by being president, and their only thing they've ever wanted to do, the only thing he's ever wanted to do was make America and the world great again. Tell me, did you vote for the other ones, the ones preceding him, the one right before him that couldn't even carry on a full sentence without looking at a teleprompter? And one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life is the night they turned the teleprompter off and he's like this. He had no clue. Or the woman that tried to be in there that's not even an American. One day she was an African American. One day she was from another country. She was, did you see the video when she was a Southern Belle? Do you know what the people in Kentucky would think about her putting on the big hat? Wow. And now I read an article that she says she's going to try to run again. Well, I got news for her. It ain't going to do any good. We may never have another president again. We may just have kings of the world. But this man had the audacity to ask me. He even had the audacity to say, they just missed him when they got his ear. I wish he literally wanted them to succeed in what they tried to do. I looked at him and I said, you're that bitter? What has he ever done to you? He told me, I'll get my Social Security. I said, no, you won't. I'll get it. Nobody can stop it. I said, yes, they can. You don't know what you're talking about. I said, well, first of all, you're waiting 2 years and there's no such thing as SS by then. You'll get your money and you'll get a lot more money. And you know what you'll do? You'll bow to me. You'll bow to me because I'll be wearing my hat. I told you so. And you know, for a long time, Kevin, for a long time, Janet, Mike Davis, for a long time, I never was going to wear my hat. I told you so. But there's some people that's really starting to piss me off. And you know, nothing makes me madder than when someone starts to do that. So I'm going to wear that hat. Maybe
just around family, but
it might, as Ron said, probably just going to be around family. My daughter looked at me last night and said, Dad, I'm proud that you haven't wearing as much patriotic shirts like you used to. I said, it's not summer yet. Them are summer shirts. She said, Dad, I'm scared because there's so many idiots out there. There's a couple of guys that are husbands to teachers where she teaches that love wearing hats like me. I know because I give them the hats. They've been threatened. I said, hey, join the club. I've been threatened too. She said, I know, Dad, but you got a big mouth. Well, this is what you want to hear from your daughter, right? She said, I mean that respectively. Because you have such a passion for what you do, you're not going to back down. And one of these days, someone's going to clock you. And I said, well, then I'm just going to have to get up, ain't I? I'm not going to get up and sue them. Thanks, Larry Smith. I'm not. I might have them taken into custody, but you know, that's not what it's about. It's about freedom of speech. And this cousin of mine stood there and told me this story and this story. He said, where's your proof? Oh, I heard it on the news. I said, oh my goodness, you're a mainstream media news guy. Oh my gosh. And I laughed and I laughed and I said, show me your proof. He said, I can't. And I said, well, let me show you the proof of what I'm saying. And I showed him. And he stood there speechless. I looked at him. I said, you know, no matter if we have a disagreement in here or not, I still love you, Booney. But I got so aggravated with him, as I told you, that I got the nickname Lesson. That's all he's ever called me for the last 40 or 50 years when he was just a little kid. And he's got the nickname Daniel Boone, and we called him Booney. And I got so frustrated with him today. I looked at him. I said, listen, Danny. He looked at me and he goes, you haven't called me Danny in 50 years. And I said, you haven't pissed me off in 50 years. The audacity of these people. When are they going to open their eyes? You know when? I told him exactly when he's going to, because the man that you wish they would have succeeded on, not once, not twice, but 3 times, the man that you wished wasn't still here, he's going to give you a large sum of money. And I tried to explain to him about the birth certificates, and he looked at me and he said, you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, you're right, because I only have hundreds of people every day getting me information. The report suggests that the era of the fiat currency, money not backed by a physical commodity, is being phased out. It's not a theory, it's the truth. Technology, the shift anchored by the quantum financial system. The system is described as a highly secured blockchain aligned ledger to ensure transparency and prevent the bad people of stealing our funds. All All assets will be safe. The bank will no longer know what money you have. Only you will know. Key to this transition is the integration of the ISO 20022, the international standard for electronic data interchange between financial institutions. The report claims that by mid-May 2026, various digital assets and compliant stablecoins will go live on the system. This structural shift is being handled quietly through credit unions and community banks, moving away from shareholders prioritized models towards people-focused financial services. Perhaps the most impactful aspect of these reports is the activation of NESARA, National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and the global counterpart, GESARA, which is worldwide. The report identifies July 4th, 2026, America's 250th anniversary, as a pivotal date for the public unveiling of these activations. This date is framed as restoration of constitutional money and the final move towards economic independence for the general republic. Also remember, folks, the president, the hat, Mr. DJT, also wants this to be the largest celebration, not in the United States, but the world. For those who have been closely following the Global Reset GCR, the report mentions specific protocols for Tier 4B, a group often referred to as the Internet Group of currency bondholders. The update indicates that notification for exchange appointments could begin around mid-May or a little earlier, that individuals utilize specialized redemption centers rather than traditional banks for these transactions. These centers are designed to handle specific rates while it's required. All people will eventually go to a redemption center for their quantum financial systems money, and everything will be done. There will be protection from the military, and everything will go as planned. This is not hype. This is not someone trying to blow smoke. This is true, and this is something that there is no, as they say, there's nothing going to stop us now, folks. Dear Lord, as I come to the end of tonight's show, please look after everyone, all of us, Lord. I'm not going to even say the ones in need, but look after all of us. Lord, the other day, I was on a very important phone call with a very important lady in our group. Her husband has cancer. Her husband needs help. Please stay by him. Put two angels on his shoulders, Lord, and keep him healthy enough to get him to these beds. Lord, open these beds up so many people can live the life they deserve. Open these beds up, Lord, so we can go to a new foundation. And Lord, make all of this happen. We're not here for the money. Without our health, we're nothing. We're here for happiness, joy, and long lives. Why should we be considered old when we're in our senior years? Why should this not be? We're just starting. Nothing's going to stop us now, Lord. There's no turning back. But we need your help, and we come to you tonight in a special prayer as we pray to you through your Son. And you are our Father. We pray to you. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone. God bless. Hey, I want to make one statement before I go. And Ron made this statement. Tonight, you guys over here made the show. It wasn't me. I was just talking. But you guys, I was reading. And I could have read everything you guys said over here and not needed anything because you guys were point on. Gary says, remember, ask why we were chosen to be here during this time. Two most important times in life: the day you were born and the day you die. The day you realize why. The day you realize why. And I keep asking. I was talking to someone the other day and they said, why do you think you're doing this? I said, I don't know, but I know I'm going to be here for the long haul because 6 times in my life, doctors have told me, medically speaking, you should be dead, but I'm still here. And Janet, amen to you. Love you too, John. I want to thank everybody for participating tonight. I am so happy. I'm so happy that we had the chat room alive. This has been one of one of the greatest shows we've had. And I'm thankful that you're all here. We'll be back Friday night. Who knows? Who knows? Please note I did not talk a lot about Bruce tonight. It wasn't because of what the gentleman said the other night, because I still believe in Bruce. It's just that I was able to bring in pretty much everything Bruce said from other avenues. And as I said, for all of you who participated tonight, Mike Davis, you're 100% right too, buddy. And you know how much I care for you, Mike. I care and love every one of you as Ron does too. And we're going to cross this line. And as this lady that I was talking to the other day, we got talking about the Kentucky Derby. She is also a big car racing fan, Richard Petty and all these. She is just an amazing lady. And I said, hey, how about next year, Gary? How about next year, Jeffrey and Janet and Kevin and Myrna, John, everyone here? How about next year? We all meet at the Kentucky Derby. And I promise every woman who wants to show up at the Kentucky Derby, I'll have hats, the big hats for all of you. And if we lose $1,000, we can have fun. We can just sit there as a group and we can have a sign, Patriot 5 and family, Patriot 5, Patriot 6 and family. People's going to come up and say, what's that? And we're going to tell them, we're people who believed when you didn't. I'm going to bet horse number 5 in every race, and I might win one. Who knows? But did you notice, if Ron was right, and I think he was, the winner of the race had the name Golden. If I would have known that, I would have picked that horse. And me and Ron sat watching the Kentucky Derby because that's what we do every year, because it's a tribute to our mother who we will go over and pay respect to. I have to go to White Castle sometime this weekend and get Pee-wee burgers, White Castle burgers, because I have to put some on my mom's tombstone because it's Mother's Day. And White Castles was my mom's favorite. We used to buy her a Craver Saver pack of 30. And she would eat what she wanted, 3 or 4, and we'd put them in the refrigerator. And then when she wanted some the next day for lunch, we'd cook her some more. And all of a sudden, she'd say, can I have some more the next day and the next day and the next day? Mom, you're almost out. Wait a minute, I've only ate 20, and you bought me a 30 pack. She would yell at me and Ron if we'd eat a couple of her White Castles. She loved White Castles. Guys, everybody, men, everybody, respect your mothers, whether they're with you or not. You know what's funny? I'll go and I'll get White Castle burgers for her, and I'll put 2 or 3 on her tombstone. I'll go back the next day. The packages will be there and the burgers will be gone. My sister gets mad at me and says, why do you do that? I do it out of love and respect for my mother. That's what it's about. So everybody respect your mother on Mother's Day, whether she's with you or not. If you can't get to the cemetery, just say a prayer for her, talk to her. Just walk around and just talk to her. She'll hear you. With that, good night. God bless. We'll see you all Wednesday night. And who knows, maybe we'll have a celebration call. Maybe we'll just have a call where we're all happy. We're passing out numbers. I don't know. TNT Tony says we'll get the money no later. We'll get it no later than Saturday. TNT Tony has a lot. Okay, Karen Alsbury's there for next year. Just think about it, guys. Just think about all of us joining together as a group, happy family. We're going to do lots of things together. Good night. God bless. And Ron, Patriot 6, and myself, Ralph, Patriot 5. Love yous all. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you Friday night, if not before.